Well, apparently it says we're live. It looks like we could be live. Are we live? There is still a bit of a delay on between OBS and the actual YouTube thing.
Yeah, well, this is not playing.
It says I'm live.
Just starting now. Obviously, you set it for 8 o'clock, and that's it.
All right, yeah. So I think we're all up and running.
Well, yeah, I can skip the ad now.
We've got some concurrent viewers. Right. Now I'm using a new bit of software tonight, so you'll just have to bear with me for a minute. I need to make this bigger. I can move that out of the way, can't I? And we'll see how this works. So, welcome back to Ben's Garage. We're doing a Tuesday night live stream. Now the picture on the YouTube looks better than what I'm getting on this software, but that's not a problem. I'm not worried about that. Here we go. Yeah, it tells me how many viewers I've got, and when people start commenting, that should come up on the screen as well. Yeah, I'm trying something new tonight. I'm using the webcam and the audio on the computer it's just quick and easy. Well, Tina Forster has, let me make those comments a little bit bigger. Let me see what that does. Oh, it's gone. Just type something again, Tina, please. What's it? Oh, right, yeah, so it comes up in the bottom and then it goes off again. Oh, it's all clever stuff, isn't it? So yeah, I can keep an eye on what's going on now. Yeah, so Ludo's watching me on the telly. Hello, Ludo. Woo. Yeah, so this is our first live stream of 2021. Welcome back. I don't know if you was here watching the last live stream we did just before Christmas. I got a little bit merry that night. We was having the wine and cheese tasting. It didn't end well, I'm afraid. What happened? Was I ill before I went to bed?
I think you were.
Yeah, I was a little bit ill before I went to bed, and then I was all right. And gets to bed, and I have to get up in the night to go to the toilet. So 2 o'clock in the morning, all of a sudden it comes over me again. Oh my word, I was as rough as you know what. Anyway, so that put me off of red wine for a little bit. I've not had any since. But, all right, Ludo has left the building. So yeah, we've not touched the red wine for a while. I've had plenty of beer, but it does something to you, doesn't it, when you get a bit rough on something like that. Wine and cheese second time round is never pleasant. But there, it's my own fault. Is the audio coming through all right?
Yeah, there's still the delay, but it sounds good.
All right, is the picture all right?
Picture's fine.
I'll say the picture on YouTube looks better than the picture on this software.
It looks fine to me.
So, it looks like it comes up on the screen how many people are watching it. It says 8, but I think it lags a little bit. There's about 6 of you on at the moment. Anyway, and up here it says 9 viewers. So, yeah, this is a new setup. Basically, it's a new computer. The old iMac bit the dust. If you watched one of our other videos where I tried taking it apart, I took it apart and we fitted the new power module thing on it, and it did make a blind bit of difference to it. I think the actual motherboard had suffered some damage from a lightning strike. We had a lightning strike which took out the Ethernet card and the SD card reader, and I think it's done some other damage on it, and just as the hotter it gets, the more it shuts down. So the plan was to take it apart again, and I was going to strip it down and sell it for parts. But the adhesive that I stuck the screen back on with was so bloody sticky, I broke the screen. Gutted, because that was the most expensive part on it. A 5K Retina screen, and I just got this little plastic tool in there, and it just pating, and that was it. It cracked. But yeah, so we've now got a new iMac. Much better spec than the last one. I mean, the last one was a mid 2015, so it's coming up to 6 years old. So it was still perfectly capable. It was just having issues, which I think the lightning strike didn't do it any good. Now we've got everything going through breakers and, you know, these things that flick off when you get a lightning strike. I don't know how good they are, but it's better than nothing, isn't it? What else can you do? So yeah, I've got all the other bits for the iMac. I've been started selling them. We sold one piece today. I sold all the memory RAM cards out of the old iMac because I upgraded it. It was 32 gig. Of course, wouldn't fit in this computer, would it? Because this new iMac takes a different sort, of course. But yeah, so that's that. That's why we're a new setup tonight. I've downloaded a new bit of software which just goes straight onto YouTube, and it just saves messing about with all external cameras if it works. It does keep going light and dark when I move close to the screen. It's the webcam. It keeps adjusting for the light, so I have to sit still like this and don't move. I will use the other cameras for other stuff. Oh, Mick Ness is in the house. Yeah, when I start live streaming up in the garage, I'll be using my other cameras. I've got multiple cameras that we can use up there, bits and pieces. But yeah, so this is a bit of a trial tonight. I thought we'll do a little quick live stream. I've not done one since last year. Just before Christmas. We did the last live stream. It's now February, so I thought we were about due one. Let me change that because that's better. We're all good. Not a lot's new with us really. Yeah, I've got over the hangover. I've still not touched any red wine. I've pretty much steered clear of that at the moment. I can't get that up there. I'm just trying to move stuff about so that it's easier to use. That'll do. I think that's it. That's sorted. Yeah. So it's I've got over the hangover. But I think my cousin's back out at some point. I've not heard from him. He did say after he's quarantined, we'll be up for a session of wine and cheese, as you do. So I'll have to ease myself back into that one ever so gently. The weather at the moment, actually, it's been dry for a couple of days. It got a bit windy today, but it's been wet. Oh my God, it's rained and rained and rained. So much so that I've not even been getting up to the garage because it's just been absolutely terrible trying to get my wheelchair through the mud to the garage. Yeah, I've got to sort that chainsaw out. That's a plan for end of this week, next week. I've got their strimmer to sort out as well. Now, when he left, he had 4 months to for me to fix it. That 4 months has gone pretty quick. Bugger. Headlights on the L322. We thought we fixed them. I mean, we've not had the car running for such a long time, but I tried. What did I do? We disconnected the battery and tried to reset it, and it did work for a long time. But then when I was driving around the field in it, I noticed that the headlights started flashing again. So when it comes to having a look at it, I'll have a look at that headlight module that's in the driver's door panel, kick panel in the footwell. No snow here. We did have a little bit of snow, which lasted for about a couple of hours.
We had some that laid for a day.
Oh yeah, it was here for a day, but nothing exciting, nothing to write home about. I was waiting for a good bit of snow so we could get out and take the Range Rover around the field and do some donuts. But I was doing donuts the other day. I did that video off-roading in the Range Rover. Down the bottom there, it's got a bit muddy and messy, and I'll have to go and flatten it out with a tractor, I think. But yeah, so no, we didn't get a lot of snow. But what day is it? We're getting 17? In a couple of days' time, they're forecasting 17 degrees Celsius. So that'll be quite a nice, bit of a change. Yeah, Ben's scrapyard. That's what we should call it. We have got rid of some scrap. The flower mower's gone. The scrap man took it. So, we are getting through it. I've been working on the Audi. We went up to the garage the other day. I'll put that video out this week, so I won't give too many spoilers away. But yeah, I was doing some minor bodywork. Again, as I explained in the video, I did a video the other day when we was doing some DIY. That's not my favourite subject, DIY. Bodywork is the same on cars. I don't mind mechanicking. I get my hands dirty, but yeah. So I did a little bit of bodywork on the Audi. You'll see that video. I'll put that video out on Thursday. But yeah, so and I did fit part of the problem, the N75 valve, but even that went wrong. I can't tell you too much because I'll give the video away then, won't I? But it didn't go wrong. It's fitted. It just it will be, yes. That's the plan. I've got to get the intercooler on and get underneath done. And the bit of bodywork I was doing, it's the front bumper, because this Audi we've got is really low. I think it's original suspension, but it must be like a sports suspension that they put on the Quattros, because it does sit a lot lower and it's a lot firmer than my sister's Audi A4. And yeah, it's quite a lot lower, so hence the bumper problem. You park up to a curb and the bumper catches on it, and as you reverse it pulls it under, and so I modified it a little bit. You'll see in the video on Thursday. Yeah, we put we didn't. We've had Nokian tyres before, but we put Nexon. I don't know if I think they're all terrain. No, do you know? I don't know. No, they were Nexons. I can't remember now, but I know we put a pair of tyres on the back of the TD6. They're winter tyres, all season winter tyres, I think. The TD V8's got Continentals all the way around. They're all season tyres, But yeah, they're quite good tyres. There's no road noise or wobbles about or anything. It's rather nice. But if we ever had to replace them, I don't know if we'd be putting those back on because they're quite expensive, you know. No, not really. Depends on what. If you put cheap all-terrain tyres on your car, they might be a bit noisy and a bit, you know. But a good brand of all-terrain tyre. I mean, I had a Range Rover Classic, and that had BF Goodrich mud terrains on it, and you'd think that they would be really noisy and it'd be all over the place. But you know, they were perfect. You know, you don't drive these sort of cars like a sports car, do you? So. But no, from my experience, all-terrain tyres, even mud tyres, a good make of mud tyre. We've had some, even when I was working in the garages and that, we've had some people come in and fit some cheap mud terrain tyres, and they were like really difficult to balance and stuff. But generally, all-terrains, they're just a little bit beefier than ordinary tyres. Obviously, they're a bit. Compounds are a bit different and all that sort of thing. But yeah, so there's a chap on YouTube, Sam's Motors and something, who's been putting out Range Rover content just recently, and he's just put some all-terrain tyres on his. He's got a 4.4 L322, and he did some tests with a decibel meter. The all-terrain tyres were quieter than the road tyres. So yeah, I need to be getting some more Range Rover content out because that seems to do rather well. We could put all-terrains on the Panda, but you know, we'll wear out the ones that it's got on it at the moment. That's pretty good, the old Panda. It does seem to go wherever it. You know, wherever you point it, it doesn't tend to get stuck too much. Yeah, it's because he's been commenting on some of my videos actually. When I did the off-road one, that's right, because I think it was him. He commented about the rear diff locking on mine, and he said that he hadn't got that option on his. I don't know which Range Rovers have that option, whether it comes as standard. I mean, ours is the Vogue SE, so whether that makes any difference. And ours has got a lock-in rear diff. Obviously, the centre diff locks, because otherwise you wouldn't get power to the front and back. But with our centre diff locks as well. I don't think the front does. But he was saying in the comments that that's an option that he would have liked on his one. But yeah. They're still pretty capable. I mean, on the old TD6, it relied on a different system. It worked on the traction control. If you started spinning up a wheel, which I have done it on numerous occasions, the brakes grab hold of the wheel that's spinning, which then transfers power to the other side. Which, you know, is quite a good system, really, when it works. Here we go. Started coughing now. Rear diffs, that's from 2007. Yeah, I mean, ours is a 2010. I was trying to find out if it was an option that you could buy when you bought the. Yeah, hit that like button, like and subscribe. Yeah, I don't know if it was an option or if it came as standard, or if I don't know. But yeah, I'm glad that it's got it. Now the tyres let ours down. You might notice when I was driving up the hill on our bit of land down here, I did put my foot down, and I was expecting the traction control to cut in, but it might have been because I had it in the terrain response. I had it set for something. Normally, when the wheel starts spinning, the traction control cuts in and it brings your engine speed down. But it didn't do that. It just sat there spinning, and both the back wheels were spinning. And the diff lock light came on, and I'm not sure if both or only one of the front wheels. But it's down to tyres. It's got road tyres on it, and it was so slimy down there the other day. Yeah, tyres will make a huge difference. No, I'm going to move this text because I can't see it down there. Let me move it over there. Somebody type something. Let me see if that comes up over there better. Because down here it's really bright and I can't read it. Alright, so that's down there. I'll move that up there, look. I think that's better there. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I could just turn this light off, couldn't I? There you go. Right, let's move that back down there. Right, I have to keep an eye on that now, see if I've got it in the right place. But yeah, I think it's all looking okay. Let me just have a... Yeah, that'll do. Me and computers. Yeah. Right, I think that's it. We're back to how we were. Flickered. The headlights on it don't flicker. They just go on and off, on and off, on and off. On main beam only. When you've got it on, when you've got the stalk on, like dipped headlight, the headlights aren't switched on. But when the stalk's in the dip position, the main beam flashes. And then if you put it into main beam, they will go off. But then if you turn your headlights on, they'll be on main beam and then it'll go on dip. But I don't know if it flashes when you've got your headlights on. I can't remember now, but can I change the green colour? I don't want to mess about with doing too much while I'm chatting on here. Let me see if I can go into the chat box and properties. What's going on here? Background colour. Oh my god, what have I done? Font settings. Theme, chunky. Done. I'm not sure about colour. We'll have to try that. I think everybody's names were coming up in green, weren't they? I don't know what that's all about. I'm still getting my head around all this software. It's totally different. Hang on, I need to move that over. That's red this time. What's that all about? Yeah, you might notice the step ladder's out over there. We are decorating the hallway. I finished my plastering. We've done all the sanding. The Hobbit's been painting the ceiling. She's painted everything with like a white undercoat type thing. She's also done the ceiling, done 2 coats of paint on the ceiling, so she's ready to do the walls. And then I've got to screw a power socket on the wall and then fix the Dyson up. Yeah, she does need that. Well, she needs that to reach the light switch, to be honest. Well, Mick said it to help you paint the skirting boards, but I was being generous.
Yeah.
Saying it's for you to get to the light switch.
Yeah.
But, oh, yeah, this is better with that light off, isn't it, really? Anyway, yeah, so she painted the ceiling again yesterday. Going to paint the walls next. When are you doing that? Friday. Yeah, it's Friday because tomorrow we've got the nurse coming out Tina's icing a cake. Thursday we're off out. It's Mum's birthday on Thursday, so no. The computer might have been. He said, is a new software a Christmas present? I said, no, but we've got the new computer. And I didn't have the software that I had on the old computer, so I just looked for the best. It's Mick's birthday. Is it? Oh well, it's Mick's birthday on Thursday as well.
We'll think of it while we're eating cake.
Yeah, we'll think of you, Mick, when we're eating cake over at Mum and Dad's. I don't know if they're watching tonight. I didn't tell them that I'm live streaming, but I do put out posts, and I don't know if they've got notifications switched on. But yeah, we're going to Mum and Dad's on Thursday for Mum's birthday. Dad's making pizzas. If his back's alright, because he's done his back again, so he's been having injections and bits and pieces. So no, I'm afraid you can't. That's for select few only. Having said that, there's quite a lot of people saying it now. When my cousin comes or goes, it's bye for now. Mum doesn't say it so much on her videos anymore. I've noticed that.
It was Cara told me, wasn't it?
Yeah. I said, you need to get your own catchphrase. Bye for now. Yeah, so Thursday's out of the question. What happened with the monitor? Well, it's an all-in-one, these iMacs. So the iMac packed up. It kept shutting down, and then it would reboot and mess about. We had a massive thunderstorm, and the lightning strike took out the Ethernet card and the SD card reader in the computer. We got round that. I got an external card reader, and I got an external thing for the Ethernet cable, which plugged in the USB because they still worked. A couple of weeks afterwards, it would just randomly shut down. Oh, here we go. Built-in obsolescence, I was thinking. Thinking about it, I forgot all about it, but Tina mentioned it. She said, do you think the lightning strike had anything to do with it that's weakened something? And when you'd had it on for about an hour or so, it must have got up to temperature, and it just used to shut down. And then sometimes it wouldn't start back up again. And then other times it would reboot. So I took it apart, because everything on I did some research, and everything pointed to the power board. So I thought, well, I could get a power board for £100. So I bought it. I bought the kit because you have to take the screen off. I was a bit nervous about that, but we managed to do it. Got the screen off in one piece. Put the new part in. Laid the screen on top, and it all powered up fine, and it rebooted and everything. It was working fine. So I thought, right, we'll stick the screen back on. Brought it back through in here, plugged it in, and it wouldn't work properly at all. So what do? Do you plough more money into something that you just don't know if it's going to work again, or do you just buy something new? So we bought something new. So we've got a new iMac. So I thought, right, well, I'll strip the old one down and we'll sell it for parts. And I broke the bloody screen, didn't I, second time round? So yeah, that's that. That's the saga of the computer. Anyway, that's enough of that. Spending money. We've got to make some money back now. We've got to get this Audi sold. Yeah, would have been nice, wouldn't it? In the video that I did, I thought we had fixed it, but it wasn't to be. But anyway, this new iMac is a 2020. The specs on it is so much, it's so much more powerful than the last one. Just video editing alone, it's unbelievable. the speed of the thing. It's yeah, but I've got another video which I'd made saying iMac catastrophe. I've not released that one because I thought we don't want to put too many computer videos in a row because it doesn't do the algorithm a lot of good, does it? That's why I put a random Range Rover video in. I've got another Range Rover video planned, but I've not filmed it yet. Possibly I'll film it either over the weekend or early next week, so that'll be ready for next week. But yeah, this week's video, I was up in the garage doing some little jobs on the Audi. So hopefully we can get that all done and buttoned up, cleaned up, and sold, hopefully. You never know. Might be someone out there with some money. We're not locked down yet. No, I've still got the old L322. There was a chap interested in it, and he apparently bought the parts to fix it. I've not heard from him since last year. I will get in touch with him at some point, but we're not. We want to get it. Well, we'll have to do something with it because if he doesn't want it, I'll have to fix it. So yeah, we'll say people are still allowed to go to work. We're not locked down at the moment. We're under curfew. We have to be indoors by 6 o'clock at night because the virus is rampant after 6 o'clock, and so people are still working, so they're still getting an income as such. So there might be people out there that have got the money to buy it. If it was in the UK, it might be a bit of a different story because money's a bit tight at the moment. But it'd be nice to get that sold. Bit of money back in the piggy bank. The Hobbit's desperate for me to get the Audi done so that we can get the Panda in. Yeah, so the Panda's next, so we can get that all fixed, running right. Well, it does run. It runs quite nice actually now, but we'll get everything done so that it doesn't clonk about when you drive it over if you see a little stone in the road and you hit it, it doesn't half make a clonk. It goes dunk 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 dunk. But yeah, so the Panda's in next. There'll be a series of videos on the Panda. Well, I do like the Audi, but the Hobbit doesn't like the Audi. And to be honest, the Audi isn't that great on diesel. And it's not, no, as the Hobbit's shouting out now, it's not a practical car, the Audi. Although it's quite a sizable car, really. The inside of it is really small. And the boot space, I can't even get the wheelchair in the boot. We have to take the wheels off it. Whereas in the Range Rover, you just fold it up and chuck it in. Now it's diesel. It's a 2.5 TDI, 180 horsepower. It's automatic and it's permanent four-wheel drive. So that all has an effect on it. I suppose if you was doing long runs out on the open road up to speed, you might scrape 40 miles to the gallon. But the computer, we were sort of averaging about 1,800 hours. Oh, yeah, sorry, I'll catch up. I've just read that comment thinking, what's that? Yeah, curfew. Our curfew was, what time was our curfew? 8 o'clock?
Yeah, 6 till 8 until just after Christmas.
No, it was 8 till 6, wasn't it?
No, before Christmas it was 6 o'clock.
No, when they started the curfew, it was 8 o'clock at night. Yeah.
At 6 o'clock in the morning.
Well, so the curfew's 8 till 6 then, not 6 till 8.
Oh, you know what I mean.
Yeah, when they first brought the curfew out, we was 8 o'clock at night till 6 o'clock in the morning. And then because the numbers weren't coming down, they reduced the curfew or extended the curfew 6 o'clock at night till 6 o'clock in the morning. What difference that's going to make, I have absolutely no idea. I'm not the expert in these matters. But yeah, the Hobbit reads up on all this stuff and it's not working. So the French government are putting in, what are they putting in contingencies for crises at hospitals?
Every hospital has to start
crisis management.
Yeah, crisis management, cancelling non-essential.
Yeah. So in France, the government have said every hospital have got
Thursday.
from Thursday that all hospitals have to have crisis management in place to suspend all non-urgent operations, so they know something's coming. Doesn't affect us one little bit. We don't. Well, if the Hobbit goes out shopping, she went out today to run some little errands, and we spend our time here on our own land. We don't mix with the riffraff. But no, not getting vaccinated. We'll leave it at that. There's some people for it, some people against it. We don't go out, we don't meet anybody. I'll let everybody get their side effects first, and if they don't, then I'll have it. Simple as that. But for me, I've had enough of stuff like that. They're not really. Are they getting vaccinations in France?
Yeah.
But they're not a lot though, is it?
I can't remember the numbers, but the whole of Europe is going slow but going steady.
Yeah.
They're trying to get second doses rather than just the first.
The Hobbit has just shouted out that the whole of Europe is they're going slow with it because they're trying to do it so that everybody can have their second dose rather than everybody has their first dose and then they don't get their second dose, which, you know, keep calm and carry on. Yeah, I know. Yeah, UK's going. It's one of them things, isn't it? And they reckon a lot of these new variants, the vaccine doesn't even touch them, so we've got all that to look forward to. Anyway, on a brighter note, we've got crocuses coming out the front. Plus the daffodils are poking their heads up, and Tina said that there was some tulips coming up in the front garden.
And the onion and garlic, so we can have it.
Yeah, the onion and the garlic that we planted in the garden last year, before all the frosts, are... here we go. Sam's motor and something. Here's the other Range Rover bloke. Evening. How is the ramp? The ramp, Mick, is still as it was. That's the job that we've got to do. Sam's motor and machine, of course it is. It's that thing again, Mick. I've got this pressure sore on my arse because I spend all day sat down, and I don't really want to be getting on the floor doing that ramp. I can still get up and down. A bit of a story. Farm over the road, they got goats, and they keep getting out, and they keep coming to our front door, and one of them's got a chain around his neck, and it got hooked up on the ramp, and the bloody thing took off up the road with one of our planks of wood. Never to be seen again. You know, it's gone. It's not in the farmer's garden or up the road or anywhere. Anyway, we've substituted it with another bit of wood, which does the job. It's like off-roading in your wheelchair. Keep calm and drive a Range Rover. I'm not taking any responsibility for other people buying a Range Rover. So yeah, we have got the ramp to still do out the front there. We've got all the wood to do it, but I say the weather's just been absolutely crap just recently. Plus we want to do some remodelling up by the garage. We put a gate in on the field, but we want to put a gate and a fence across the front where the garage is, so that the dogs can have free rein. So when I'm in the garage, they can come and see me if they want. And so we've got to move the fence, the gate that we put in. But I can dig it, I'll get on the mini digger and dig that out and dig some holes. But we can't really do that while it's so wet. And I don't want to be doing concrete while we've any chance of frost. So all these little things are on hold at the minute. But we've got a couple of little jobs that we're going to be doing. We've got to set up some tanks over by the garage. We are in the Limousin. TDV8, 3.6 or 4.4? That is the question. So will we be buying a TDV8 in France? I don't think at the moment there's any benefit of getting it back in the UK. What the import costs are now. But there you go. We bought ours in France, and it was expensive. If you live in France, you'll know that second-hand cars are really expensive over here. But you won't want that one, Mick. Bloody hell. No, EGR has been deleted from the ECU and blanked off. And there's no DPF on ours either. Which, when I bought the car, I think it even says DPF on the Carte Gris. For all you lot in England or the UK, the Carte Gris is like your logbook, your V5. It's a French one. It says model on there. Land Rover Range Rover 3.6 Vogue SE DPF. But there's no DPF on it. And it's sold straight for its CT with the EGR deleted. Oh, I'll get my words out of it. Compared to its night and day difference. I had someone interested in the TD6, as I've probably mentioned before. He apparently bought the parts to fix it. No, it's a grey card, Mick. Yeah, Carte Gris. And but I've not heard from him since last year. But I know he's got a few issues going on at home. I'll get in touch with him. If he doesn't want it, then I'll fix it up. The plan was to turn it into a bit of an overlanding expedition type thing, because I think the TDV8 is a little bit nice for that at the moment. Because it's still quite nice. It's low mileage still. There's no scratches or anything on the TDV8, so I don't really want to. When I took it off road the other day, I might have said that I'm always a bit careful going off road that I don't scratch it. But yeah, if we do end up keeping the TD6, that is the plan for that car. But at the end of the day, we still might end up selling it. I'll fix it and flog it on, because we've got too many motors sitting around at the minute. So we'll get rid of the Audi, hopefully. I don't think we'll ever be allowed to get rid of the Panda. Oh dear. The Hobbit's piping up in the background. But yeah. I mean, the TD6 is the one with the tow bar on it. But it is quite handy for towing the trailer, obviously. We could put a tow bar on the Panda. But legally, the Panda is only supposed to tow. Oh, what was it? It wasn't a lot. Oh, the trailer we've got is it's a twin axle. It's only 750 kilos. I don't know. But at the moment, we're only using the trailer on our land, so I can hook that up to the tractor. We've got like an A-frame that goes on the 3-point linkage with a tow socket, and yeah. So I'll get back to what I was saying about TDV8 and the TD6. Night and day difference. TD6, 177 horsepower from new. But you can always go back to his videos. Yeah, 177 horsepower from new. A TDV8, 270 horsepower. Obviously, that comes down a little bit through mileage and wear and tear and bits and pieces. We've had our TDV8 remapped, which is now 310 horsepower and as much torque as the 4.4. I think the 4.4 is 313 horsepower, something like that. Yeah, driving the TDV8 was night and day different from the TD6. The TD6 it had enough power to get it up to speed, and towing was alright, but it was lacking, and the gearboxes are crap on them, to be honest. I think they've made the gearboxes out of cheese. I think a lot of people that have sort of chipped their it is proper beast actually now. Now we've had it remapped. Best thing we ever did, I think. And obviously deleted the EGR valves as well, because they're problematic on the TDV8. So yeah, we had that done. Oh, I've just wobbled the screen. But yeah, so now if you want to overtake something in the TDV8, you just have a look, put your foot down, and away you go. No messing about. With the TD6, you had to sort of calculate it a little bit. I wouldn't liken the TDV8 to motorbikes. You know, on a motorbike, if you want to overtake something, before you even think about it, you're in front of whatever you're overtaking. It's so quick. With the TDV8 Range Rover, it's got enough power to do the manoeuvre, if you like. But yeah, I would recommend the TDV8. I think the 4.4s have got the better gearbox, the 8-speed. I mean, ours has got the 6-speed ZF gearbox in it, which is good. If you keep on top of the filter changes and the oil and stuff, I think you'll be all right. Our TD6, I think it's the torque converter that's playing up. So the bloke who was interested in buying it, he wasn't fazed by that. He said, I'll take it off. He was going to take the gearbox back to the UK and get it reconditioned. And I thought, well, that's a bit hard work, but there you go. It's up to some people, isn't it? But yeah, I'll have to get in touch with him again, see if he still wants it. But yes, Mick, it is a bit of a dry house in here tonight. It's 10 to.
Yeah, exactly. It's 10 to.
Oh dear. We're on, we don't get a cup of tea till 9 o'clock. So yeah, I'm going to do, I've got a video lined up for the Range Rover. As Sam's Motors and Machine, obviously Sam, will know, as soon as you put Range Rover videos out, they just go mental. And I've noticed that on my channel. You do a Range Rover, the last couple that I've put out, I've only got like just over 1,000 views, but I mean, some of my Range Rover videos have just gone absolutely mental. People just seem to go crazy for them. I don't know why. Well, it's good, but so yeah, you can do it on the TD6 quite easy. It's just unbolts. Take your intercooler pipe off, unbolt it, take the thing off the side, and plug it back on, and it doesn't throw any codes up normally. Our TD6 has got it done already. I actually bought one to put on it, and when I went to change it, it was already done. I thought, oh, sod it. That's what you get for not paying attention. But yeah, so I mean, that's why I try and do lots of stuff on the Range Rover, because it brings people in, gets your numbers up. That's what we like. The more numbers that go up, the more ad revenue. But it's not what it's all about. But it is nice to earn a little bit out of YouTube. But my other channel, the Mad Dog Air Guns, that's monetized now, and that's started to do quite well. Yeah, which is a bit odd, but it's just different niches, isn't it? I mean, this one, I was doing everything on this channel before, and I'd do a Range Rover video and it'd get like 10,000 views, and then I'd do a video on something around here, out on a tractor or something like that, and it'd get like a couple of hundred views, and it really upsets the algorithm. So that's why this one, Ben's Garage, is just car related stuff. I've got more channels now and I know what to do with. Yeah, it is quite well. I mean, I don't know if your channel's the same, but you get a lot of comments which are like positive, and then you get one or two which you think, why do you even bother typing that out? What? You waste all that time typing out negative crap, and you clearly don't know what you're talking about yourself. And I've got a phantom thumbs downer as well. Nearly all of my videos get a thumbs down, and it's probably the same person, but I don't really care. But yeah, it's all good stuff, and it's just gets a bit of a community going, doesn't it? And bits and pieces. So I've seen on your channel, Sam, that you have put your tyres on for doing a bit of stuff, off-roading and what have you. That'll be interesting to watch. When I took ours off-road the other day, the only thing let it down was the tyres. Yeah. But I don't plan on doing a lot of off-road. That car mainly sits on the road. So until we do a bit more off-road, or wear the tyre, when I need to change the tyres, I'll think about it. Maybe put a more aggressive tyre on it. But I don't want to upset the road handling more than we have to. But it would come down to price, because it's got Continentals on it at the minute, and they're almost €300 each, I think, because we got it had brand new tyres on it before we bought it, and I think I got the receipt in the handbook thing, and yeah, you get plenty of that. I mean, on the other channel, the Mad Dog Air Guns that I've got, I'll get people on there give me a right load of grief. When you're going to learn to shoot and this, that and the other. So I don't claim to be a bloody marksman or anything like that. I can hit a pumpkin at 10 metres. Come on. But yeah, I'll get people on there going on and on about Land Rovers and how crap they are. But it's like, all cars have got faults. Doesn't matter what brand of car you get, or you're into. I know Land Rovers have got their issues, but you either love them or you hate them. A bit like Marmite. But yeah, yeah, probably. I get quite a lot of comments about people saying that you want to get off your fat ass and do this, and why are you getting your missus to do stuff? And then I point out to them that I'm in a wheelchair and I'm doing the best I can. Certain things I can't reach, like lifting the battery up into the engine bay of the Range Rover. I've got the Hobbit to do it. When you sat down here and you're up here, you're trying to lift, those batteries are huge. Trying to lift it at arm's stretch, so I've got the Hobbit to climb on the engine. We managed to get the battery up in the engine bay, of course, it goes over on the back. And I got, why don't you get your missus to do that? Get off your fat lazy ass. And I pointed out, I says, I don't mean to be funny, but I'm in a wheelchair. If I could get off my ass, I would. And then I got an apology after that, which, fair enough. But I don't know. It was getting close because that battery's bloody huge. And we did fit a bigger one than what should have been on the car, because we had to modify the car a little bit to get the battery in. You'll have to watch that video because, so I've had a lot of land. I've had Range Rover Classics. I did have a 110 for a time, a really early one. It was like A-Reg, so what's that, 83? No, 80. Yeah, 83, I think, A-Reg. That had the old 4-cylinder diesel non-turbo engine in it. I think it was similar. It was like a Peugeot engine, similar sort of thing. But I ended up swapping that for a Range Rover Classic, and I've had Range Rovers ever since. I've had 2 Classics, 3 Classics. I've had a P38, and we're now on 2 L322s. I think that'll be it. I'm not too keen on the new Range Rovers, and I don't like the Sports. I don't like the Evoque. And I don't think we could ever afford a new shape one, so it's out of the question. And I'm quite happy with my L322. Does the job bloody marvellous, and because it's quite low mileage. When we got it, I think it had the equivalent of about 70,000 miles. No, I don't like the new Defender. Yeah, I had 3.9 petrol. It was a lot of headaches. That turned out to be I took it to a Land Rover expert specialist who used to work for Marshalls in Peterborough, who was like the big Land Rover dealer. He then went out on his own as a Land Rover specialist. He had it in there for a bit, and he said it wanted this and it wanted that. I was spending no end of money on it, and I put a new ECU on it, airflow meter, all these different bits and pieces, and then he said, I'll take it round to such and such and they'll check, see if the head gaskets are okay. I don't think they really looked at it, because they said, yeah, head gaskets are fine. Anyway, I was coming out to France in it, and you could get it up to speed and it would misfire. You could just keep it smooth just by touching the throttle, but if you give it loads, it would accelerate. But if you just sort of trying to keep it at speed, it would blah, 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 and really enough of misfire to get you out of the seat. But yeah, so I drove it to France, used absolutely shitloads of petrol, and then I thought, I'm going to take the thermostat out of it and see if it's pressurising. So I took the thermostat out. My dad went out. I've told this story before, but anyway, I'll tell it again. Dad went out and he ran out of diesel, because he did that quite often. Because I can't remember what car he had. No, he had a Frontera, because I did buy him a Range Rover as well. And then I brought the Frontera back because I was going to use the engine out of the Frontera, because that had the 2.8 Isuzu engine, which I was going to put in my 3.9 Vogue, because that was awful, the petrol in that particular car. But then, say he ran out of diesel, so he phoned it. Luckily he had the radios on him, so we went over to get to him, and I'd taken the thermostat out, and as we got there I could smell antifreeze. Opened the bonnet and antifreeze was squirting up the back of the thermostat housing. I thought, well, there's no thermostat, it shouldn't be pressurising. So I thought, we've got a bit of an issue here. So I took the cap off the expansion bottle, and it ran as smooth as butter. So we drove it back to mum and dad's place. Dad got his hole drill out and drilled a hole in a bit of perspex, like a hole cutter. So cut a circle out with a hole in the middle, put a plumbing fitting on top, so that it must have had a leaky liner or something, and combustion gases were getting into the water system and pushing the water out. So as it was pressurising, with the little hole in the expansion thing, the excess gas could escape and the water level didn't drop. Once we got it bled out and sat right, I drove it for 2 years like that. As good as gold. Passed its MOT. Well, I did MOT it myself, but no, it did pass the MOT fine and through the emissions and everything. But yeah, I had a classic with a 200 TDI in it. You know, gutless as hell. But we opened the pump up a little bit, and the Range Rover I bought for my dad started off life as a 2.4 VM diesel, which was the old 2.4. It had the 4 separate cylinder heads on it, and they were gutless as hell. It couldn't pull itself out of a puddle, couldn't pull the skin off a rice pudding, and but it had been retrofitted with a 200 TDI and had a massive intercooler on it, and it had been, when I picked it up, on the motorway, I'd got up to 100 miles an hour easy. Private roads, of course, yeah. Anyway, so that was quite capable. But yeah, my dad had that, and he ran that for quite a few years, and then it packed up and he sold it. So yeah, I've had the P38, the 2.5 BMW diesel. It was all right. I put one of them cheap tuning box things on it that it goes in. Oh God, you took a plug off the fuel pump and plugged it in, and you plugged it in somewhere else, and it had about 8 different settings on it. It did make a difference, but doing it that way, I think I wouldn't want to do anything like that on the TDV8 or the TD6, because basically you're tricking the car into thinking it's running in a different condition than it is, so that it's putting more fuel in and stuff like that. It did make a bit of a difference to the fuel consumption on the P38. Oh. Kettle's just boiled. We was averaging around 24 to the gallon on the P38. When I put that little tuning box thing on and had a bit of a play with it, I could get it up to about 29 on, out on a run. But yeah, that bit the dust. I was coming home from work. I had the chipper on the back, and it overheated. Oh, sod it! And look at this. Service with a smile.
Cup of cha.
Thanks, Duck.
That's all right. Quack.
There goes the Hobbit.
On still.
I don't know why I did that. It's just been made. We've got 25 of you in tonight. It's nice to have a bit of a crowd in here. Normally it's about 4 or 5 of us. I would tell you, Mick, but I've not looked at. Probably on that site it might be all right actually. bensgarage.org. Where I've got the stickers for sale and stuff like that. I've got to revise it because postage now is going to be all different after Brexit. Yeah, so I'll have to do a bit of a revision and see what things are going to cost. But I think the mugs and clothing and stuff like that, it's done through a third-party website, so that'll get delivered direct to the UK anyway. Nice one. We've not got Roy's the boy on tonight. I was going to send him a sticker or two because he's got a wall in his garage where he puts all the stickers up. But it's very good service. I don't have to pay her that much, to be honest. And sometimes she smiles. I'm only saying that because she's on her way outside and she won't be able to hear me.
I missed that. You only saying what, Chris, what?
I didn't say anything, darling.
What did you say, sweetie?
I said, somebody said, what service? I said, yeah, and I don't have to pay you too much. And sometimes you even smile.
Cheeky side.
So yes, where was we? Oh yeah, P38 broke down. It overheated. I had some bottles of water with me, so I thought, well, I'll just sit on the side of the road, let it cool down a little bit, try topping it up, bleeding it out, because the temperature gauge went up, and I thought I've got to switch it off. So I was sat there waiting, and anyway, I filled it up. So yeah, see you in a bit. Just taking the dogs out. I got about 2 miles up the road, and it whooped straight up again. This time it went so hot that the engine just cut out. I thought, ooh, that's not very good. Anyway, we had in France. When you insure a car, you have breakdown cover. It's part of your insurance. Depending on what level insurance you buy, is the level of breakdown cover as well. But it's a legal requirement in France to have breakdown cover. Yeah. Yeah, I've had my Brave pills, and so I had to get recovered, but they would not take me home. Oh, and he come from a Citroen garage. I said, "Have you worked on Land Rovers before?" He said, "Oh, no." I said, "Do you know what you're doing?" He says, "Oh, no." I says, of course, had the chipper on the back as well, so he loaded the Range Rover up onto the back of his. He only had like a little 3.5 ton 6-wheel job with a tow bar, so he could tow the chipper. I says, the chipper needs to go in a locked compound. So anyway, they did that. Left the Range Rover sat outside. Over a week, they hadn't even looked at it. Oh, bloody hell. That was our only car, because I phoned Tina up. I says, look, I broke down. They're taking me to Chalet, to the garage. I said, I need picking up. So we had no, we didn't. We had a Renault Scenic RX4, a little 4x4 version of the Renault Scenic. She put that in the ditch on the way to pick me up. So it was all happening that day. So we was without a car. I might have gone over all of this in that video that I did with all the cars we've had, or I've had. Anyway, after a week, what the vitesse? Yeah, gearbox, mate, gearbox. So yeah, over a week they hadn't even looked at it. So I had to pay our local garage with a recovery truck to go and 10 miles to pick it up. Cost me €200. Then they wanted to pay in a fee for having the chipper in a locked compound. So that was something like €11 a day. Robbing gits. Anyway, I got them to bring it back home. And when I started taking it apart, it needed a new radiator. So while you're at it, you might as well change the hoses and water pump. And on those BMW engines, they don't like getting hot very often. So it was sort of like, I might be ploughing all this money into it with a new radiator and all the pipes, water pump, to then have to do the head gasket. So it was sort of like, what do we do? So I put it up for sale and sold it. Gearbox. Yeah, so that was all good stuff. So we were without a Range Rover for quite a long time. We went through a series of bangers, because previous to having the Range Rover, Tina's mum was alive, and basically it was her house and bits and pieces. So when her mum had then died, Tina was inheriting everything, because her dad had died 2009. And what am I going to say? Yeah, so we were still waiting for all this to the estate to go through probate and all that, because it is a bit of a rigmarole in France. So we absolutely had no money, no cars, shitloads of work to do. I had work coming out my ear holes because we was gardeners, you know. So we was in a bit of a sticky situation at the time. But yeah, I'd go for the Range Rover. But that's just me, because I love Range Rovers. I've never been keen on Mercedes. BMWs are alright. I mean, I've had a BMW. My dad's got a BMW 1 Series, which that just went straight for its CT. He had a couple of advisories. Yeah, hopefully our 3.6 will see us for quite a long time. We don't do that many miles in it, and when I get that Panda fixed, she's going to be using that, so the Range Rover is going to get parked up for quite a long time. I'll just have to make an effort to go out and have a little drive around, as one does. Yeah, so yeah. Yeah, well, that's you, Mick, isn't it? Come on. Adie's in the house. Biker Adie. Good to see you, Mr. Hull. Hey, fixed that circuit board for me yet? No pressure. But, yeah, I do like BMWs. They're all right, but I was never struck on the X5. Obviously, the Range Rover we got is the same engine. As, 3-litre TD6. It's BMW engine with a shit gearbox. I think the BMW, like when it was in the car, I think there was about 190 horsepower, maybe a bit more. But I think they've limited the TD6 engine because the gearboxes are so crap. When a lot of people have modified their TD6s, for more power, they've then encountered gearbox problems, whether it's the torque converter or the gearbox itself. I mean, on ours, the torque converter's not great. Yeah. Whether I do fix it or not, I don't know. Just wondering if this camera makes my face look fat. Problems, I know. But yeah, so I was never struck on the X5, and I've never been a big fan. I know just the problems you're having. Our generator is never been right since we bought it, and I put a new carburetor on it. That came from China, and that turned up the other day after about a month's wait. Discos are all right. Just if you like them. I just always like Range Rovers. I never really liked the Discovery when it came out. I know it was very capable off road and all that kind of thing, and they're great for towing and all that sort of thing. But I would ask you, Adi, how many cars you've actually been through in your lifetime, but I don't suppose you've got enough fingers and thumbs to count them on. Do you still get through cars like you used to? Many cars. I don't know if you watched that video that I did I don't know, it's last year now. I can't remember, about all the cars I've been through. We've slowed down now. Hopefully, we're not going to have so many cars. We'll get rid of this Audi and possibly the old Range Rover. So we'll just have the 2 cars. Do they break or get broken? I've not had more than you. Come on. Flipping heck. Used to have a new one every couple of months. What's the matter with you? There you go. That's Biker 80, by the way. We go back a long way with motorbikes. Obviously, I haven't got one at the moment because you can't really ride a motorbike in a wheelchair. Now, there was a bloke who lived... place called New Leak, which was out in the Fens. He was a bit of an inventor. Ben Scrapyard, and he invented. Well, he didn't invent it. He built a little motorbike. It was on a moped frame, I think. But he actually sat in he built a sidecar for it, and he sat in the sidecar to drive it. He had handlebars on the sidecar, and I might have to get one of those. Oh, I could build one in the garage one day. I think if I was to get back into motorbikes, I've seen them actually. I might get walking again. Well, touch wood. It's got to the point now when Physio came out today. Actually, can't see what I'm talking about. That makes sense, does it? See what I'm talking about? Yeah, Physio came out today, and I'm actually wearing him out now, rather than me wear him out. No, rather than him wear me out. Whoa. So I've got a bit of a regime now. I do my leg exercises on the bed before I get up. Come through, have my pills and potions. I don't have breakfast because I'm fasting. I go through, have 20 minutes, half hour on the push bike, and get this, we both do a bit of yoga. Whee! I never thought I'd say that. You bugger. That makes you realise that you're not as flexible as you thought you were. I don't know. I've not actually looked on Powerful UK for a long time. I've not felt the urge to spend shitloads of money. The last thing I put on the Range Rover was those armrest knobs. You know, adjusters for the armrests. I put the autobiography ones on it. Now, Powerful UK were about £95, I think. I got exactly the same ones from our friendly internet auction website for €23. Not even 30, you bugger. And you got a 4.4 Range Rover? That's making me feel old now. I'm not old. I am. Well, I'm not as old as some people. Actually, next month, let me work this out. 44. You bugger. I'm still not as old as the Hobbit, though. You feel old. I feel old trying to do yoga. You bugger. We bring up the YouTube thing. We roll our mats out on the floor. Get down on the floor. Get stretching and bending. Because obviously the Hobbit's shoulder isn't very good. She had physio doing it last year. And he said, oh no, he said that needs work. So she had about 5 or 6 sessions. But she's not started it back up again this year. So she's been stretching. But doing this yoga, that's really made a difference to her shoulder. It's just stretching yourself out. I ain't doing a very good cleaning these glasses. What is going on? Yeah, it does make you realise you've got muscles where you didn't think they were muscles. At some of these positions they get into, I mean, we have to do the floor-based yoga because obviously I can't stand up. Is that better? Oh, that'll have to do. It does, but I've got one here, so that's not too bad. I ain't too worried about it. Yeah, so we have. I do me. Now, I had a Jaguar when I was 22. I had a Jaguar XJ40 Sovereign. 3.6, and I couldn't. I had an XR3i that I bought cheap through work, and I couldn't get it insured. I could insure it, but it was stupid money. It was sort of like, you know, £1,200, and this was back in 1999 or 2000, something like that. No, I'd have been 23 in 2000. Anyway, around the corner from where we lived in Cambridge at the time was this pet shop, and he had a XJ40 Sovereign up for sale. I went and had a look, £1,500, and I thought, oh, that looks really nice. It's a bit gangster. I went and had a word with him. 2 owners from new, and he just had it fully serviced. 5 brand new metric tyres on it, which was a stupid amount of money. I think it's the light reflecting off the screen, you know, for these glasses. So I knocked him down to £1,200, and I phoned up the insurance company. I said, Rover 827, we'll get to that in a minute. I said, I want to insure this Jaguar, blah, blah, blah. I went through all the details. And he said, oh, £600 fully comp, sir. And I thought, what? I said, how much? £600. I said, well, how comes that's that? And an XR3i, a bloody Ford Escort, 1600, bag of shit. You want £1,200 third party for it? And he said, well, to be honest, sir, the Jaguar is a bit of a granddad's car, isn't it? And I thought, does he know? I mean, the thing used to do 150 mile an hour. But it was awesome. Absolutely drove like brand new. Wasn't a rattle in it. Everything, it was spotless. There was a couple of little bubbles on the rear wheel arches either side, but it was immaculate. We were like gangsters, 22, 23-year-olds driving around in this bloody great Jaguar. But then somebody came over a humpback bridge on my side of the road and parked on top of it, and that was that. Yeah, XR4i, that was a nice car. Now the 827, yes, Honda engine. Now, if you bought the Honda version, the Honda Legend, they said in the handbook, don't tow with this car. It's not suitable, blah, blah, blah. Now, if you bought the Rover version, the Rover with the same engine, in the handbook, it told you what weight caravan you could tow with it. Thought, well, that's marvellous. So anyway, the previous owner had done a lot of towing with it and buggered the gearbox up. I knew the gearbox was knackered because we had it at work, but we chemical metalled the bit of gearbox that blew out. It was just, something must have blown out from inside. We chemical metalled it back on and drove it, and it was working fine. And it wouldn't set off in first gear. It always set off in second gear, change into third gear, change into fourth gear, and then jump back into second gear. And it did that at 110 miles an hour one day, and it had us all out of the seats, pinned against the seat belts. Metro GTA, good old Metro. I had an MG Metro Y-Reg 1982. Is that 1982 into 83? Fantastic. Blew the engine up the first week. So I had to sell my Mark II Escort to pay for an engine. Say the 1275 engine in the old MG Metros. It wasn't the turbo version. It was just an ordinary one. But it was an amazing little car. It was, yeah, right little pocket rocket, really. Yeah, everyone says, "Oh, Metro, what a bag of shite," sort of thing. But I quite like the old Metro. I didn't like the bog standard ones, obviously. MG Metro, or and then it was the Rover Metro. A couple of our teachers at school had them. Obviously, I couldn't afford a Rover Metro when I started driving, but so it was the old Austin MG. Ben's Garage, fixing all kinds of stuff. We didn't fix the generator. That video will be coming out whenever. I put a brand new carburetor on it, still no different. I can get it running. I could, with a bit of start you bastard, and I can get it running on full choke. But as soon as you turn it off choke, it just dies. We've tried all sorts. 110 mile an hour on a slope with wind on the back. What's that on? I've done a bit of fabricating on the bumper actually, Mick. Funny you should say that. That'll be this week's video for anyone that's interested. I did some body work. It's a technical repair. Some class it as a bodge. The iMac is kaput. I went to take the screen off it again and it cracked. So it was all like, bugger. So we're now on a new iMac, which is why we want to sell the Audi really. Could get the old piggy bank full up again. Although this iMac is pancake day after all, Shrove Tuesday. I'm not having pancakes because I'm on a diet. No plastic welding, Mick. It involved cable ties. Oh, it's Ludo. Ludo! Come here, mate. Come here. Up. Up. Oh. Tell him. Tell him. Tell him. Oh. Good boy. That's it. You can finish now. Yeah, as I said, there's it's a bodge. As I said, with the Audi, we're not putting it up for big money, so I just want to get it fixed and get it back on the floor and give it a good clean, recondition the battery with the old battery charger thing, jobby, and get it up for sale. Oh, the Hobbit's in the bathroom, because all the pipes to the bathroom run into this room. No, that is Ludo, and he is apparently a Bruno de Jura cross. We think he's crossed with a Labrador. Bruno de Jura is like a French hunting dog. They got really stupid long ears, but they're that colour. When people see him quickly, they go, "Oh, Doberman." No, he's not Doberman. He's Bruno de Jura crossed with possibly a Labrador. He's definitely got some Labrador in him because he can sniff food out from miles away. He's a bit of a food monster. They get out every morning. Tina takes them out, goes around the woods, and they get out under the fence. And the pair of them, she brings stuff back, and I don't know where they're getting it from. We think that the farmer dumps, because in France they got the chasse, which is like they go out hunting, basically. Anything that moves, they'll shoot it. The farmer's obviously part of the chasse, and they've got land over there. And we think that once they've caught something and butcher it, they discard all the waste over in the woods. Well, these two get over there, don't they? She keeps bringing stuff back. Chocolate diet. Now, I've been doing quite well. I've lost with this diet. I've only been on it for a few days, and then we're going over to Mum and Dad's on Thursday. So, which way's my hair going? Oh, bloody hell. So the diet will be out the window then, because Dad's making pizzas and Tina's taking a cake over. But yeah, since last year, I think I've lost. Well, I was 58 inches around my gut. So I can't get on the scales to weigh myself. So I put a bit of string around the widest part, and then measure the string. So I've gone from 58 inches, and I've got down to 45. So that's quite a big difference. But Tina made a whopping pork pie the other day. It was like that round. I made a batch of homemade Branston pickle, so she did a pork and Branston pickle pork pie. We had it for dinner one night. We only had like a bit of it each, but she's not keen on pork pie, the pastry. She doesn't like a lot of pastry. She's good at making it, but doesn't like eating it. So I've been having it for lunches. Of course, I went from 45-inch stomach to 49. I thought, oh, bloody hell, that's gone quick. So I thought, sod it, right, we'll cut all the crap out, and we'll kickstart the old diet again, and get back onto portion control. That's what it's all about. None of this calorie counting, but we just use small plates. Yeah, we're getting there. I've come from 49 back down to 46 today. So, but yeah, the pork pie's all gone. But then I'm going to undo all that good on Thursday. I'll just have to try and be careful. But this new regime with all the exercising helps. And as I said, this bit of yoga. You bugger. I didn't think I'd ever be doing yoga. Mum and Dad was talking about starting yoga because obviously they're getting on a bit in years. They're not old, but they're obviously, they want to supple themselves up a little bit. I don't know if they actually started it. I'll find out on Thursday when we go over there. But yeah, so we've been doing it. We did it 3 days. Tapas. Yeah, so yeah, I have to be a bit careful what I eat because being sat down all day, if I could get walking about, I don't think it'd be quite so bad. I could burn off some of the calories and that. Pardon me. Oh, pardon me. She put extra bubbles in that cup of tea. How much money should we keep safe when buying a... Yeah, that's what the Hobbit, her shoulder's really bad, and I don't think it's arthritis on her, but tendonitis. Is that what he told you?
Yeah.
But even just a few sessions that we've done, she said it's made such a difference. We do floor-based yoga, obviously, being as I'm sat down. But no, I'll get out of the chair on the floor and we roll about on the floor and try and keep a straight face. That's the thing. What I'm going to try and do next time is when we have to do the turning, is we both turn in the same direction. Because when we turn opposite, you know, if I turn one way and she turns the other, we end up looking at each other. That's it. The giggles start, don't they? And yeah, swimming pool would be very nice, Mick. Yeah, when you come in to build it, when they're out of lockdown. Yeah, so give it a go, Biker 80. You can't hurt. Get yoga in. I didn't think I'd ever be doing it, but I can actually bend quite a bit, and I can bend more now than I could before I ended up in a wheelchair for some reason. Whether it's because I can't feel half of my body. He's going to send a minion over to do it, Tina.
Oh, right, okay.
All right. We'll put them up in one of the outbuildings. Pilates. Is it good for... What is Pilates?
That's stretching.
It's stretching, isn't it? And all that kind of thing. No, we're not in lockdown. I think the UK are still in lockdown, aren't they? We're not on lockdown. We're under curfew. We're not allowed out after 6 o'clock at night without a very good reason. Do you still need an attestation if you're out after hours?
Yeah.
Yeah, if we have to go out after 6 o'clock, which has got to be a serious reason, then we have to have an attestation stating why we've gone out and what time we go out, this, that and the other. But the way it's going, I think we're going to be getting locked down again fairly soon. Alright, Ludo, you had your bit of fame on the telly. We had some comments about you. Couldn't give a shit. He's down there, got his head tucked in his arse. Lots of essential workers, of course. And those people that have to go out for exercise. You better not get me started on all that, because I think, you know, I could set a few people up the wrong way if people don't hold the same views that I do. The crack is still there, Mick. It's not got any bigger, but I can't turn it round tonight to show you because I'm fixed. I'm doing it on the webcam on the computer. You see, now we're nice and rural, so if we see, obviously we get the farm traffic, they're up and down. We get the regular traffic in the mornings. We get the school buses go past and like the regular morning traffic. Lunchtime, we get the regular lunchtime traffic. So as a van comes past, and he's normally always at 13 minutes past 12. He comes past the house. He can vary a little bit. So sometimes he's late, sometimes he's early. When Tina goes out, she goes everywhere masked, double mask. With all these variants going about, she's actually talking about getting a hazmat suit. That's probably, a good point there. Pilates is an exercise for dyslexic pirates. Yeah, well, essential, I suppose, isn't it? But yeah, I don't know what camp any of you lot are in regarding all of this, but all I see on Facebook is, oh, my kids are suffering mental health and this, that and the other. If we was locked down when we were kids, I don't think Mum would have just kicked us out in the garden when we started acting up. Pull yourself together, have a slap, bish bash bosh, away you go. But perhaps it's just because I'm old school and that's the way we were back then. Or I am still now. But I won't get into that subject on here because there might be some people suffering with issues. So yeah. You see, over in France, we're not locked down, so you can still go to the shops, you can still go to work. If you can work from home, you're supposed to work from home. But if you can't, then they say all this lockdown business, it really doesn't affect us. We don't go out. We've got 5 acres here, or just over. We've got plenty to do here. The Hobbit goes out once a week, once a fortnight. When it was really bad, she could stretch it for 3 weeks. We could have gone longer, but obviously your fresh food, you run out of fresh fruit and veg, don't you? You know, we've got long life milk and all that kind of stuff down in the dungeon. So really being locked down, it doesn't really bother us. You know, we've got all the space out here. We keep ourselves to ourselves. We're not very sociable people anymore. When I was still walking about now, I went out socially because I was doing the music. I was playing in about 3 bands at the time. You know, I was playing in one proper band, and then I was sort of depping for a couple of bands. A bloke would phone me up and say, "We've got a gig Friday night. It's a 3-course meal and €100 per person." So there was 3 of us, so we got €100 each and a 3-course dinner. So it was like, yeah, and I didn't have to learn any of the songs because I knew them all, or I had the music in front of me, and so I was going out a bit doing that and, you know, meeting people and stuff. And we used to go out and see people at work. But now I think we're just like hermits. We like it. We enjoy our own company. I enjoy the Hobbit's company. I think she enjoys mine most of the time. We've got the dogs to contend with as well. And we've got some neighbours, but I mean, we don't really speak to them. We've never spoken to the people just over the road.
I have said hello.
We've said hello. And we wave every time we see them. They wave, we wave. The people who've moved in next door, Tina's spoken to them. They want to hire the digger off us, but so Tina says I don't think he'll hire it, but if you want any work doing, he'll come round and help and do it for you. So we're gonna put it to them. I'll go round there and dig out what they want digging out, and they can come round and help us put the greenhouse up. That was the Hobbit's idea, which I think is rather marvellous. So they're all. We have got some English neighbours. The kids sometimes go around on their bikes and that and say hello. Someone on Instagram wants to send me a message. Let's have a laugh, shall we? It'll be some random. No. Some of these, I don't know. Hi there. Pardon this automated message. Hope you're having a great new year. If you like cooking or baking and want to get inspired, make sure to check out International Chef Adam on this page. I don't think so. Delete. If I wanted something like that, I'd go looking for it. Do you know what I mean? Random stuff that pops up. Yeah, we got plenty of space over here, Biker AD. I don't know why I keep calling you Biker AD. I've always... It's like if I mention you to Mum and Dad, it's Biker AD. But there you go. Yeah, we've got plenty of room over here, AD. So, yeah, when all this... COVID nonsense is over, or dies down a bit, and you're up for a holiday, you'll have to pop over. This is to AD, not to all of you other lot. But at some point, if we got a big enough following, we could have a Ben's Garage jamboree, and we'll get you all come over and camp in the field. Not quite so easy now that Brexit's happened, but yeah, we'll have a bit of that. No, don't bring the Beamer. You could bring your Speedos if you like, Mick, but we've not got a pool for you to, strut your stuff round. We've got a pond. Oh, I don't know what I've done now. I've put that out there. There's all these people saying that they're going to turn up. We'll have to wipe our address off of everywhere, and the trouble is we're on Google Maps and everything now. I don't mind doing that. We could do something like that at some point if there was enough interest. We could have a bit of a get together, bit of camping in the field. We might have to ask permission from the Mairie. Do you reckon they'd stand for it?
If it was personal.
It's not commercial, is it? We're not going to be charging people.
We'd have to come in and use their loo and what have you.
Well, you'd have to see about hiring some portaloos.
Well, yeah, I can't imagine that they could stop you if it was personal.
He needs an electric hookup. You can use a generator. It has to run on full choke. It'll be chugging away for however long. £100 a night. Bloody hell. We quids in then. Eh?
When are they coming?
I don't know. Yeah, we could have a Range Rover meet. We've not got much of an off-roading course because I've filled all the holes in. if we've still got the digger, we could dig some more holes and then fill them back in again afterwards. But it'd be a bit of a road trip for a lot of you. Yeah, nice pork pie and pickles. Plenty of cheese and wine and beer. Beer is cheap. Well, lager. The little bottles. Wine's cheap. Wine is nearly as cheap as water coming out the tap. Not quite as cheap, but it's, Yeah. Well, if there was enough interest, I would certainly think about hosting an event like that. But it would be a bit of a long road trip for a lot of you, because let me just see how far we are from Calais. Google Maps. Calais. Directions. We're 710 kilometres from Calais. And if you took the Paris route, you could do it in 7.5 hours. If you come down the Rouen way, which I would probably go for, because it's a little less stressful, it's nearly 9 hours. 8. You can do it in about 8 hours, I think. No, driving in France is a pleasure, really, to be honest. I found that coming over here on the motorbike. We come over on the motorbikes quite a few times, and as soon as you get off the ferry in Calais and you get out onto the road, it's just so much. Well, the speed limit's a bit higher for a start. On certain roads, you're allowed up to 130 kilometres, which is about 82 miles an hour. There are cameras, so you've got to be careful. And especially, in the last few years, if you got a speeding ticket in France, it actually got sent back to you in the UK. They had a bit of a cross thing with the DVLA, so you could get caught. My brother got caught speeding when he came out here on his motorbike, maybe 2 years ago. How far? Oundle. Oundle. I know Oundle. Let me change that to Oundle. If it's Oundle Peterborough, that way, it's 1,016 kilometres, which is 11 hours and 17 minutes. Yeah, my brother got a fine, and he was like, I ain't paying that. And it kept going up. He got sent another thing, and it had gone up, and he's like, oh. And I think he'd been on a Carrot, because they've got like a little Volkswagen T4, T5 converted into a little bit of a camper. Goes onto a camper forum, and on there's a lot of people saying they've been coming out to France, getting speeding tickets, going back to the UK, ignoring the speeding tickets, coming back out to France, and they was getting stopped at the tolls, and the gendarmes wouldn't let them pass until they'd paid the fine. And one bloke, he had to pay like €1,500 for them to release him on his way. So he was like, oh, I better pay that, because he was obviously planning to come out to France. But since then, he's changed his motorbike since then. So it'd be a different number plate. But yeah, they can get you. So yeah, when all this pandemic's calmed down, and I don't know where I've not told him that we got I obviously put out a community post and something, and I don't know if many people saw it, but saying that there was a live stream on tonight. Mr. Dibbles isn't on, but I'm not sure. Mr. Dibbles might be on his way back to the UK. I'm not sure what. I spoke to him a few weeks ago, and and he said he was planning to get back to the UK on the 17th of February, so he might be travelling. I don't know. Yeah, Rouen is the better route. It's longer, but it's less stressful. If you've ever been around the Paris périphérique, it is just a nightmare. And I've done it so many times at different times of the day, and it doesn't matter what time of day I've done it, it is just a nightmare every time. I've been around at 2 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning, in the afternoon. You know, obviously rush hour gets stupidly busy. But even at 2, 4 o'clock in the morning, it's ridiculous. But yeah, so when we was living over in Charente, I used to come down that way. You sort of go up to Rouen and then up, and then you avoid Paris altogether. Because I've always crossed at Calais, either Calais or Dunkirk. I think Mum and Dad have gone like Roscoff, Caen, Saint Malo. But they're long ferry crossings. But so it is a bit of a trek. But if there's interest, we'll sort something out. Yeah, I know Oundle near Peter. I was living in Peterborough for quite a few years. So I've been to Oundle quite a few times, obviously on the job. Yeah, you'll have to keep me up to date if there's interest. Obviously, it's not going to be happening anytime soon, and things have got to get back to normal, really, haven't they? But we're quite happy to host a bit of a shindig, whether it's a long weekend or a week or whatever. We'll have to get some portaloos in or something, and some showering facilities. Oh, yeah.
How's that?
Digging a hole.
And a hose pipe.
Like,
Shower,
they can have a shower in it with a hose pipe, but don't want all their crap in a hole, do we? I know we've done it before, but hose. That's what the Hobbits just shouted out. Got a hose pipe if you need a shower. We'll get a load of those camping showers that you fill up and you lay out on the grass, and they heat up. And we've actually used those. Oh. So, Mick's on the move. Where's Mick on the move to? So, yeah, quite a laugh. If there's any musicians out there, round jaws in the field. Yeah, you can come and put a tent up if you like. We'll only charge you a little bit of rent. Yeah, I think it was the best thing we ever did bought this place. It was cheap. It did need a bit of work doing, and obviously it still does need a bit of work. But we're getting there. Look, we're getting the hallway done. But yeah, we got this place, 5 acres of land. We've got about an acre of woodland. It is all fenced in, but the dogs still get out to, and we paid €73,000. That's including agency fees. But yeah, Spain has never appealed to me. I've never been to Spain. You've been to Spain?
No, we got to the border and Mum and Dad had forgot the passport.
The Hobbit, they was going to Spain. Was that when you had the caravan down there?
Yeah, when we were out.
When Tina was a kid, they had caravans down in the south of France, and they was going to have a trip into Spain. They got to the Spanish border, and her mum and dad realised they'd forgotten their passports. Did you have yours?
No, they'd have forgotten.
Oh, they forgot their passports, so they didn't actually get into Spain.
That was the start of
it's nice having a lot of land. I mean, our last house was a big house in the Charente. If you watch some of our earlier videos, we were still at the old house. It was big. We had big rooms. We had a massive dining room, a lounge, 2 bathrooms, 3 bedrooms, a lot of outbuildings, but only a small plot of land. I've got a saxophone. I started learning to play the saxophone before I went into hospital, and I was actually getting back into reading music properly because, you know, when I play bass, I play it all by ear, basically, or I quickly look at some tabs. Tina bought me a saxophone for Christmas, so I was learning how to play it. I can't quite get they call it en bouche, don't they? You're blowing it. Anyway, I can sort of make a bit of a noise with it, and I could get the notes. I knew where all the notes were on it, and I was reading the music, and then I ended up in hospital. And since then, I've sort of run out of puff. So I've got to build my lung capacity back up again, and I'll start learning it again. But you'll see that I've moved the drum kit. That was sat down here. I've moved that over there. Yeah. So we've got all this land. We've got the tractor, which is very nice. We've got the mini digger, which is absolutely godsend, that mini digger. We've cleared all the woods out, all that wild patch down the side of the house. We've cleared all that out. We will be selling it when we finish using it. We've got a few little jobs more to do with the mini digger, but that'll be up for sale when we've done with it, because they still fetch really good money over here. And it's only done low hours. It's only just done over 2,000 hours, and it's had all the bushes and pins changed. It might need some tracks at some point, but at the minute they're still holding up okay. But it's nice to have the land to just play and do stuff. And I've got the gang mower. I've got to get the gang. God, we've got another Mick Ness here. I said I'll play bass by ear, and he said, "That's impressive, playing bass by your ears." Yes, but Mick, the digger will be more useful, money in the bank. Once we finish with it, and we've got the tractor. We won't get rid of the tractor because that is a godsend. The tractor. Obviously, we've upgraded to this newer one with it's 27 horsepower, 4-wheel drive, 2-speed PTO, power steering. It's fantastic. And with the gyro broiler we've got, which is the topper, they call it. They call a topper a gyro broiler. If we let the grass get really long out here, it'll cut that down no problem at all. Whereas the last tractor we had, it really struggled. We've got the grapple on the digger, so that's brilliant. You know, you just pick trees up with it. You know, once you've cut the tree down. I've got a big pile of trees out here which I've got to move. I'm going to speak to the neighbour, see if he wants it for firewood. We was going to keep it, but we haven't got any log fires. We're going to keep some wood back up just in case the apocalypse does happen. Yeah, flower mowers are great, Mick. The last one we sent with a scrap man the other day. I kept the engine off it though. We've still got the engine, as you might have seen in that video I did. That'll be going to be used in a little project further on down the line. But I've got to get these cars sorted out first, because yeah, we've got too much stuff just lying about. But yeah, I've got the gang mower. That's going to be a bit of a project as well. I've had quite a few people interested in the gang, not to buy it, but interested in seeing videos on the. I've got both the engines, the old one and the new one. I've got to look at the old one. I don't know what was happening with that. Whether it was leaking or it was leaking oil somewhere. I don't know where from, but it'll be spares for the new engine if I need it. But like the gang mower, there was a lot of people interested in seeing videos on that, and I've got to strip it down to find out what's wrong with it, because it drives backwards lovely, but when you put it forwards, the gears, it jumps. It's the gears. It's only got forwards or backwards, and the drive the speed is done on pulleys on the engine side. It's a weird system. My dad's got a vintage tractor. Well, it's not vintage. Well, it is vintage. It's a 1965 McCormick International D326. Can you turn the seat round? Oh, hang on. Turn what seat round? Oh! Oh, God. Sorry, I'm a bit slow tonight. Yeah, you probably could turn the seat round, but the cutters don't cut because they still turn in the right direction, but you're going backwards. Yeah, I've clocked on now, mate, because the Hobbits just shouted out an explanation. The trouble is, these comments come up on here and then they disappear, and I've got to like look over here, see what happened to it. Yeah, so it does go backwards, but the gangs still turn forwards. So although it's going backwards, they're turning the wrong way to cut, and you'd have to turn the whole lot round. And I'll just fix the gearbox. It can't be difficult. It's only forwards and it's only backwards. You've got two levers between your legs. You've got your gears, which is forwards or backwards, and then you've got your cutter engage, which just engages your cutters. The front gangs are powered on UJs, which then go up to a big thing, and it's got like a double chain on it, and then that runs off to somewhere. The gang underneath, which is the middle one, is run off a belt, but then there's belts on that come off the engine. There's a massive flywheel. There's two belts. There's one that comes from the flywheel on the engine to another big flywheel, and then there's another one that goes from that big flywheel down to something underneath, and that's how you regulate the speed. You've got 1, 2, and then you can pull it all the way back for transport. And as you pull the lever back like that, so the first one is number 1, so that's quite a slow speed, but your cutters are still going quite fast. So as you pull the lever back, so you've got an outer belt. The outer belt goes to the engine, and the inner belt goes down to the gearbox. So as you pull the arm back, there's a pulley in the middle of the two belts that moves from side to side. So as you pull it back, it makes this one smaller and that one bigger, or the other way around. When I pull it apart, I'll do a video and show you how it works. I'm not going to do a concourse restoration. I'm just going to get it so it's working and it's serviceable. Sharpen the gangs up. I think I can still get parts for it. There's quite a few parts on it. Trouble is, they're all in the UK, so that's getting a little bit tricky now with postage, import fees, and all that kind of jazz now. But we'll work our way around it. Mention of Ben's garage. Well, I'll have to mention Sam's channel on my channel, won't I? Roy's the boy. He's not on tonight. He came on at Christmas. He follows the channel. He gave me a shout out a long time ago. I did a video fixing one of our lawnmowers, and he gave me quite a good shout out. You know, his channel was it's been growing about the same amount as mine has, and it was I don't know how long ago he did his channel, but he had about the same amount of subscribers I had at the time. And he gave me a shout out saying, you know, here's a guy that's fixing his lawnmower, he's stuck in a wheelchair, blah blah blah. And yeah, so that helped push the old numbers up a little bit, and I gave him a shout out in a video as well. He's the OG. Well, Sam, when it's pandemic free, you'll have to have a road trip over here, and we'll have a bit of a collaboration. Get some videoing done in France. we'll put the. That's a good idea, actually. If we set up a Ben's Garage meet for a week, and you write down what your trade is, I'll have a job for you. Yeah, so I say as soon as you can get out to France, I say give us a shout and we'll put you up. You can stop off here and we'll do some videoing. Compare the 4.4 to the 3.6 tug of war. I've got road tyres. I'll do a tug of war with the tractor. So yeah, well I'm up for a bit of that. Pop the old drone up, get some good footage. Professional tea drinker, I am actually. So yeah, that's that sorted in the bag then. But yeah, Christ, I've been on here for over 2 hours now. I'm not sure what I've got that you could fix though, AD. Well, you're probably all right with electrics, aren't you? You know, like household electrics. We could probably have some wiring done. I'll get you to do some wiring in the garage. But yeah, we'll get some trades in here. We'll get some. It'll be like a DIY SOS, won't it? A beer installation engineer. I've got a feeling that might not be quite accurate, but we'll go with it. We've got plenty of beer at so a beer installation engineer, I take it that's like a beer tester. So you'll be up for sampling quite a bit of beer. I've not watched. I've watched the video where he put his tyres on Sam's channel. I watched the one where he did his steering wheel, which I thought was quite interesting. Our steering wheel doesn't need it because it's done so little mileage, but it's quite handy to know. Yeah, I said that he commented on that video the other day, and I actually watched his channel, Sam's channel, quite a while back with a Cummins engine. I think that's the right channel, isn't it? Because at one point I was thinking about putting a Cummins engine in the TD6, but in France they sort of frown on it a little bit because it's modified and. So yeah, I was watching videos on putting a Cummins engine in a Range Rover sort of thing at the time, and I think that's where I first saw Sam's channel. If he's got Cummins on his, he will tell me in a minute. But yes, it's what it might have been. It was a while ago. All right, well, you can come and install a beer pump for us then. It's like years. Was it years? They used to call them the draymen, didn't they? That used to deliver all the barrels to pubs. Used to be once they dropped off, they'd have a pint. I think they stopped all that. Yeah, I mean, I've watched that. It was probably a couple of years ago now I watched that. And then when you started commenting on that my other video the other day, I didn't put two and two together. And I started watching your channel with your Range Rover. And I looked back over some of your old videos. Thought, I've seen this one before. I think I subscribed. Belgian beer, yeah. Well, probably get some of that up the road. Yeah, that's quite correct, AD. That circuit board. I'm not in any rush for it. The keyboard's sitting over there somewhere. I've got another keyboard over there. That's just like a USB keyboard, and it just they call it a MIDI controller, don't they? I think. Yeah, we get left up the road. Hey? I know. Well, it's getting that time of night, isn't it? Can he fix computers? I don't know. Well, he won't be able to fix the screen that'll bust, will he? That's for the bin. So I need to get some more Range Rover videos out because Sam's obviously putting loads out, and he's taking all my all my views. It's not a what is it? It's not a competition, is it? But yeah, we all like to see all these channels do well. But, yeah, it is the Range Rover stuff that brings people to my channel for some reason. I think when we get the Panda going, there's a bit of interest in the Panda. I know, it's a 2 thumbs up. Yeah, so I've got a few jobs to do on the road. I want to service it, obviously. We've had it nearly 2 years and it's not had an oil change yet. And we've not even washed it yet. That's really bad, I know. But I can't remember how many miles we've done in it. I'll have to work it out. I'll be doing another video actually very soon. I'll work out how much it's cost us for the last year of running it. The first year we ran the car, it wasn't too expensive, but we had all the costs of registration, which in France is quite expensive. It was nearly €1,000 registration with the tax. And I think I did count in the insurance in that as well. I'll have to watch that video back, but I'll do a video how much it's cost us for this last year. She's in. I don't think she's watching it. Are you watching the video?
No, I'm watching the videos.
No, she's watching something else on YouTube. He says you've been a bit quiet. Have I banned you?
Like I'd say, notice.
So yeah, we've got to clean the Range Rover. I've got to service the Range Rover. I'll do a video on how much it's cost to run over the last year again. No, we don't watch English telly. I'm really gutted about that screen because second hand you could get about €400 or €500 for them because it's a 5K Retina screen. All right, then Ninja Badger, we'll catch you another time. Thanks for joining us. And the first time I took it off, it came off lovely. Obviously, I stuck it back on with new adhesive, and it just wasn't happening. And it just one little thing, and it dinged, bang! It just went bop. Oh, jeez. So there you go. That was that. That's for the bin. It is getting towards that time of night where I shall be signing off. My throat's gone dry. I keep lubricating. We've had a good turnout tonight. So yeah. Yep, thanks for coming along. And yeah, so we've got some plans for the future then, haven't we? We'll have to... It's not going to be this year, I don't think. Possibly next year. who knows? We'll have to see what happens. But you know, if we're all unlocked or whatever, and things become a bit more safe, you know, we'll put something together, and probably try and do it over a week, and then see what happens. So yeah, all right. We're gonna wrap it up now, I think. Yeah, it's been a good chat tonight. Plenty of you on. It's been quite a good one. I hope I've not taken you away from your pancakes. Party like it's 2022. Definitely. Yeah. So we could do a virtual collab. We'll have to come up with some ideas. You'll have to drop us a line, Sam, and we'll sort something out. Yeah, it's been good again tonight. I'll probably leave it again for another month, and we'll catch you all later. So I've got a video coming out, but it's only bodging stuff on the Audi this week, and then hopefully I've got a Range Rover video for next week, and we'll see what happens. And Stream Hub, I have no idea what that is. Anyway, so right, I'm going to get off. Thank you all for coming, and we'll catch you in the next one. So from me and the Hobbit, it's bye for now.